Madonna.
Do I have to change my name?
Hi, I'm Madonna. I'm here to provoke people. Erotica. Am I wild? I'll never tell.
Oh dear.
Revolutionary. I expect anything.
Face your fear.
You are a mystery.
Pioneer. Feminist. Sex.
Ambition.
My career.
I'm a taskmaster.
Demanding bitch.
You must be my lucky star.
Trailblazer. Catch me if you can. Do I still have chutzpah? Yeah. I will always take the road less traveled. Never back down. I will not shut up. No regrets. I will not stop.
I feel like you're right up there beside the Pope and Ronald McDonald.
Cool. You have a dream about what something's going to be like, and then you get there, and it's not what you expected at all.
I like to refer to it as the agony and the ecstasy.
And you just have to deal with it.
I'm gonna be a star.
Fame isn't really a goal, just something that happens.
There's so much mythology surrounding Madonna.
She is so amazing. I love what she's done with her career.
I've never been starstruck like when Madonna walked in the room.
There are a lot of great things about being famous and a lot of privileges that that I've been afforded, and there's so many great things, people that I've met. That's the good part about being famous, the ability to reach people, to affect people, to inspire people.
Who's your biggest female role model?
My biggest female role model is Madonna.
The all-American girl who pursued the all-American dream and found her fame and fortune.
So many people are so afraid to have a point of view, to strike out on their own and to like try and realize one of their dreams. I think there are unhealthy quests for power and healthy quests for power.
Make you feel like a queen on the throne.
I mean empowering yourself.
Make him love you till you can't come down.
You do have a hard time making clear decisions. You do have a hard time figuring out who your friends are.
Oh, it's not that bad.
You have to be very careful.
Being famous for 15 years is like a real, like, you know, that's like going to the school of hard knocks.
I'll never be the same.
A man scaled a fence at the pop star's estate. There was a struggle, and the 35-year-old intruder was shot several times. It appears the man had been stalking Madonna for some time.
Sometimes it's difficult when you are on top of the world, I think, to have a quiet moment.
Maybe I'm a little bit more suspicious of people that aren't, you know, already in the business, don't, you know, have it going on.
Oh, it's lonely up here.
I don't think loneliness has anything to do with fame. I think everyone feels lonely from time to time. Don't you think? Okay. I win. Some people start off wanting to be, you know, rich and famous and this and that, and then they go through life and they have other values and they change. Hell no. I never want to go back to selling donuts. No, I mean, listen, I love what I do. I have to take the good with the bad. The bad thing is that obvious things, you don't have any privacy. I mean, I just accept it. People feel like they know you and they feel like they have the right to sort of judge you and write things about you.
What was that horrible newspaper?
Crónica.
Okay, you're not with Chronica? Okay, I'll talk to you.
There's that question.
You said that you want another child. Did you meet the father yet?
I'm so happy to talk about my record.
I don't want to give it another moment's notice. I think it's ridiculous. Everybody's private life is nobody's business.
I would like to expose my daughter to the least amount of publicity as possible. The photograph I did for Vanity Fair was my way of saying, okay, maybe if I present them with a photograph, photographers will stop pursuing me so doggedly.
You were my lesson I had to learn.
I know that there are a lot of people who do respect my privacy and just want to see me perform, and that's all they expect from me. I would just like people to concentrate on the music and not, do, 20 million interviews and be on the cover of every magazine. Respect anything at this point. I can't control public perception. Only thing I can control is my work. We'll start in the airport and everyone will attack me and they'll say that I tried to run over somebody in my living room. And there'll be like hysterically outrageous stories every day in the newspapers. When the rumors surfaced that I was HIV positive, I thought, well, someone's really bored today because it gets attention, it sells newspapers, whatever. But for some, like everything I do, 1 minute I have a black eye, the next minute I'm 4 months pregnant, the next minute I have, bleeding babies in my video. You know what I mean? People just make stuff up because it gets attention. I think press conferences and talking to journalists can be very stimulating. I mean, it depends on what you get asked. I like having an intelligent conversation. I like having my intellect challenged. You want to talk about the color of my underwear? We'll talk about the color of my underwear. That's a strange question. I've thrown ideas out into the air and then everybody's sort of responded to them. I have to listen to the criticism that I get when they're dealing with my work, and it's beneficial. I try to stay detached from what critics say, because if you buy into the good stuff, then you end up getting hurt by the bad stuff. Even as a journalist, don't you have like good days and bad days? Yes, okay. I think deep down inside it's human nature to want to destroy them, to try to bring them down to your level so you can feel good about yourself. Express yourself, don't repress yourself. Well, I don't take criticism very well. That's too bad, but that's just the way it is. I do something, and there's 100 people in the room, and 99 people say they liked it. I only remember the one person who didn't like it. It actually helped me, all the controversy and the negativity. I tried to turn it around and make it something positive. How you perceive yourself is what will be for you. If you perceive yourself as victorious and a winner, then you'll be a winner. I'm a much more sensitive person than people would like to think that I am. I want to not care what people think of me, and many times I succeed. It's just a joke. I'm so used to it now. It's a constant battle, I'll hear something that's unkind or not true, and I have that moment, and then I go, okay, that's not important. That's a trick. I'm gonna destroy my ego. I'm not going for it. It doesn't mean anything. Only my ego is reacting to that. It doesn't mean anything. I have to have that conversation with myself. People just inevitably get caught up in what I'm saying and not what I'm saying in the interview. It's just so out of control. And sometimes I hear stuff and nothing happens. It just rolls off my back, and I'm really happy about those times. I'm getting better at it. But I'm more interested in what my fans think. When you become a celebrity or an icon, it's too difficult for people to endow you with more than one characteristic. You're either the nice girl or the bitch or this or the that, but you can't be a full human being, which is certainly what I am. My work. I work too hard. We're working my butt off. Thank God I have work. I always say to myself, why aren't people inspired by everything that I've accomplished? Why is everybody afraid? It's incredible what I've done. I've spent the last 20 years, working my butt off. I feel very proud of my work, and I think I've come a long way. You must be my lucky star. Originally, when I went to New York, my very first dream was to get into the Alvin Ailey Dance Company.
$35 in the pocket, take you to the center of everything, and then You know, the rest, as they say, is history.
And I literally went there and had no money and no place to stay and no friends, and the day before the audition. So it was a pretty ballsy move. My whole life was hinging on getting into that company, or getting a scholarship to the school, not into the company, which I did. Thank God.
Thank God I have work to do. It keeps me from going insane.
I've obviously grown up very, in this business, very competitive,
When you're from a big family, everybody's really competitive with each other.
Don't ever tell me to stop.
And I've always had this kind of strange, unexplainable drive.
I wanted to be the envy of my brothers and sisters.
I haven't had a lot of formal training.
There was always music in our house, either practicing or records or the radio or someone singing in the bathtub.
I do sing in the shower.
How far you go and where you and what you do with your life depends on how hungry you are.
If my father hadn't been strict, I wouldn't be who I am today. I think that his strictness taught me a certain amount of discipline that has helped me in my life and in my career.
That's right. I'm a taskmaster, yes. I think I'm striving to be happy. But if you want to get really analytical, most people say that I work too hard.
I have my own very specific way of working.
I'm still the same demanding bitch.
I think all creative people are perfectionists, so I prefer to think of it as that, not being a control freak. I'm always changing things, and even when it's finished and it's in the store, I hear things and I say, oh, I should have done that, but you have to let go of it at a certain point.
You can get a lot of things out through your work. If you can express the sadness or the hostility or the pain that you feel in your work, then what better way to kind of exercise it?
You can discover things as you're writing. They can bring you a certain amount of tranquility or peace or happiness. Hopefully my music has always been a reflection of where I am. Yeah, it mirrors everything that I'm interested in. Hunger for knowledge, that's to want to know more, to experience more. Searching for meaning in life. Trying to figure out what it is I've been put on this earth to do. Different than people.
Anger is my catalyst.
I mean, life is like a constant evolution, and I'm always yearning to grow and to know more. Because I believe that a person without distinction is a person without power. It really means finding your voice.
Getting to know myself a lot better, so I'm getting better at expressing myself.
I'm a storyteller, and I draw a lot of ideas and stuff from things that have happened to me. It's a combination of a lot of things. First, it comes from, is it from my heart?
I think that I've opened my heart in all of my records.
There's fact and fiction in all of my work.
Let's get unconscious, honey.
And it is about me looking back at my life and sort of coming to terms with what I've accomplished, what I've done.
It has to do with being inspired, I think.
All you have to do is sit still for a minute and listen, and you'll be totally stimulated. But a lot of it comes from my imagination and things that have happened to other people, so I kind of mush them all together.
I think you really have to go in and say, okay, what kind of music do I want to make? What do I have to say about where I am right now?
I would like the music to speak for itself to a certain extent.
I feel very good about what I've done.
My reward or my award is making a great record, and then having everybody really be into it.
If it ends up reaching a wide audience or a young audience or an older audience, that's fine.
I mean, obviously, since I write the words, they're very important to me, and it was important that they're heard.
It's why I wrote this song.
I want it to reach other people's hearts, so that's my goal. It's, getting to people in an emotional way, not number one, not chart, but emotional connection. I'd like to think that it's a worthwhile contribution. I hope so.
When I
do sit down and think about it, which isn't very often. I don't really allow myself that luxury, but when I do, I have to say
My surviving and my strength and the things that I've accomplished isn't inspirational to other people. It's frightening.
Well, I don't think I've done it all. I think that if I look back at everything that I've accomplished, I feel like it's that much of what I want to do.
There's lots of things I still want to do. And I'll do them.
I'm a creative person. I have an artistic soul, and there's more to learn, more to know. I'm going to keep on making music and asking questions.
And what's a big question you're contemplating these days?
What am I going to have for dinner?
Strike a pose.
Look at me. Looking
the way I look.
What looks natural. I like the way it looks. Sometimes you have to try on a lot of different hats before you figure out which hat is yours or who you are.
I don't think that I'm transforming myself. I think that I'm growing and I'm changing, and the way I look and the music that I write is a reflection of that.
I just really respect her. Like, she's reinvented herself every time she's came out, and it's Madonna, you know.
For instance, in the very beginning, actually, when everybody was like into my belly button and this whole like material girl thing. To me, that was all a fluke. That was the way I dressed way before anything ever happened.
Every face you show of yourself is an aspect of your character. And you're just, if that is what you want to do, you're slowly revealing yourself. You're peeling off layers like an onion. And there's no right and there's no wrong.
People attributed all these qualities to me based on the way I looked, and that was all some pre-planned thing that I did. It was just funny to me.
Do I spend a lot of time sitting around thinking about my image?
Do you spend a lot of time and the impact that it will have on people?
No, I don't.
People know what my image is out in the public.
That's what I call bed hair. That's what my hair looks like when I get out of bed. There's a perfected version of bed hair.
Why did you get your nose pierced?
Because I like the way it looks. I think it's beautiful. I was watching a lot of Indian movies, actually.
I'll never grow tired of changing and growing.
I think that's one way to self-discovery.
Strike a pose.
Acting. Actress.
Aren't you gonna frisk me?
Cut! Nice.
I love the medium of film.
I really want to be recognized as an actress.
Good going, stranger. And you can dance.
For inspiration. It's important for me to be able to express myself as an actress, just like it is as a singer. I love acting, and I love the challenge of it.
You're pretending that you're a movie star, and you're really not.
Dad! Am I gonna be a star?
I am a movie star.
She starts acting like a big superstar, big pop movie icon, star, celebrity, singer thing.
As a gay man, I'm oddly drawn to you.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I think if people finally start to look at me as an actress, yes, that affords me a certain amount of freedom in terms of being able to pick and choose the roles that I play.
You want me to take a risk? I want you to take a risk.
In the past, I've been in a really big hurry to make movies, you know what I mean? And I haven't kind of taken the time to make sure that all of those elements were in line and good.
Bam! Right down. She's humbled.
I'm gonna avoid the cliche.
It's a waste of time to do something mediocre. That unless you absolutely believe in it 100% in every aspect, that you shouldn't waste your time.
They got over 100 girls here, so some of you are gonna have to go home.
If you want something bad enough, you can have it.
But I think to be an actress, you have to let go of all kinds of control.
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't want to do it.
A camera, I believe, picks up every little thing, so I think the key word is subtlety.
Your dream, madam.
That's the hard thing about making movies.
In terms of acting, I think you have to pull everything down and be much more natural and much more real.
Do you think you're capable of just answering the questions put to you?
I'm just trying to explain myself.
I hate you with tears. Smile on your
It just drains you. To me, that's more exhausting than doing my show every night.
Actress and singer, you deserve the Oscar. I hope you will receive the Oscar.
Oh, thank you. Me too. Thank you.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Me as Evita Peron, I think that I'm the only one that can do it.
It felt like a dream come true. I adore Argentina, and I would like, I hope that people in Argentina know that. A lot of people gave us a really hard time, and I had to read in the newspapers negative things about myself every day. That was an emotional challenge to rise above that and go to work every day.
You'll think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel.
It's an art form that I'm inspired by and interested in.
I do hope to be able to make more.
When I cease to be, then I won't do it anymore, but I think it's an incredible medium and I respect it.
The show is over, say goodbye. Come on, girl, fix yourself.
Sex.
Bad girl.
Where's the bad girl?
Sexual.
Sex and sexuality.
I want to be a baby. Right in front of you.
Oops, I didn't know I couldn't talk about sex.
It's always been difficult for me to be taken seriously because I flaunt my sexuality.
At the end of the day, if you're referring to my sex book, which I assume you are, because that's what everyone refers to.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yes. Very much. I was wrestling with a lot of my own demons and a lot of repression that I felt and guilt about sex and things like that. And society associate power with men, and we live in a patriarchal society. And I felt like I was going to liberate myself and all of women in the world at the same time. Oh, I was having a ball. By serving my own version of, of a sexual revolution, so to speak, or liberation.
I have planned certain things knowing what the effect would be. Other times I've just done things.
Were you actually shocked by the reaction?
Yeah.
I know you are. I'm not gonna hurt you. Just close your
Erotic.
I knew there was going to be a certain amount of shock, but I mean, not like that. I had no idea. I knew that there was going to be people that were, to a certain extent, outraged, but I didn't think it was going to be that big.
Oops, I didn't know we could talk about sex.
I must have been crazy.
Did I stay too long? Oops, I didn't know I could speak my mind.
I just felt like people were so threatened by what I said and what I did that they just unleashed all of their fear and anger at me, and it was a really tough time. Yes, too much information. I mean, I had to really work hard to rise above it and not take it personally. Yeah, definitely. That's right. Love me. There are certainly lots of situations where people abuse their powers. If I think sex is a sacred thing, then I probably wouldn't have been so frivolous about it. I would say that I have a different point of view of what sex is in the world and in my life than I did 10 years ago. What was that like?
Absolutely no regrets.
That's right.
Do you mean that?
Of course I mean it.
Absolutely no regrets.
Being a sexual being does not cancel out being, a feminist. And I think that the idea of a woman having power is just new. It's new to people. Yeah, that's the way it is. From the beginning of time, there have been lots of women who have had power, but most women pay a very high price for it.
Come on, girls!
We have a tendency to try to undermine their accomplishments by denigrating them in one way or another.
Because you think that being a girl is degrading.
Yeah, there's a double standard in our society. Society's uncomfortable with anything that's different. Period. If a man is a perfectionist, he's just doing his job, and if a woman is, she's being difficult. The price you have to pay for being exceptional. as a female. A lot of people say, oh, you know, you have penis envy or whatever, you just wish you had a dick, and my answer is, I do. It's in my brain.
Tried to be a boy.
Because if a dick stands for masculinity and being aggressive and having balls or whatever, then it's all a state of mind anyways. You don't need the physical apparatus. By the way, I do believe that women and men are very, very different. And we have very different needs and very different capacities and strengths and weaknesses. I think it's important to examine what those differences are and sometimes to make fun of them.
For you to justify my love.
You know, male to female or female to male, and to provoke thought and discussion. I just thought, it's weird, only guys make those kind of videos. How come girls never do it? So then, of course, I thought, well, that's a good idea, I think I'll do it. It's interesting that people are uncomfortable. They're perfectly comfortable with seeing men behave that way, but when women behave that way, you know, it's like, why? I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm a woman. Because we are used to seeing men behave a certain way, and men are the exploiters. Men are allowed to objectify women, but it's, you know, women are not allowed to do that. We're just not comfortable with that in our society.
At the end of the day, I do think that sex is a very sacred thing. I would have presented it in a different way, I think, now versus then.
That's right. Love me.
I had my own ideas about God.
I would love to have a visit with the Pope. I think he should meet my daughter.
I've had a lot of really enlightening experiences lately in the past couple of years. I haven't converted to Judaism.
I'd like to express my extreme point of view. I'm not a Christian and I'm not a Jew.
Good right now.
There's a lot of terrible things happening in the world today, and there's a lot of people that need our help.
What do I care about? What I care about is that I can do what I can to make the world a better place.
I believe, and I hope you do too, that we can defeat AIDS.
If you do have sex, use a condom. It may be the most important thing you ever do.
It's just something that we do.
Because the truth is, AIDS is our enemy. And AIDS does not know if we are gay or we are straight.
I mean, I seem to be surrounded by it to a certain extent. I am not afraid to be associated with people who are HIV positive, and I am not afraid to love people who are HIV positive.
I've just known so many people that have died of AIDS, and it's such a serious problem.
I wanted to dedicate the show to the memory of Keith Haring, who is a friend of mine, who died of AIDS a couple months ago.
I feel like in 5 years from now, all of my friends will be dead in a way. And it really hits home with me. It's a very serious matter.
I am not HIV positive, but what if I were? I would be more afraid of how society would treat me for having the disease than the actual disease itself. It's actually a shocking reality, and there are people that are really suffering.
I believe in the innate goodness of people and the importance of that.
She normally goes around hospitals, visiting children's wards, handing out photographs of herself and little presents, children who are dying of leukemia or of AIDS and so on. So she spends that time doing it. And it's kind of quiet work that she never gets publicity for or wants publicity for.
Your humanitarian efforts, do you think they become overshadowed by Madonna the entertainer? I mean, do people really look at you and recognize you, or is it...
I think so. At the end of the day, if I influence people with my music and I have some sort of a positive effect on somebody, then that's kind of a humanitarian effect anyways, isn't it?
I believe that everything you do comes back to you. Believe. I believe.
If you really believe in something, then you've got to stick to your guns.
You only see what your eyes want to see. How can life be what you want it to be?
How do you fulfill your spiritual needs?
through my work, through my writing.
I believe in God.
Thank God.
I would love to have a visit with the Pope. I think he should meet my daughter.
I had my own ideas about God, and then I had the ideas that I thought were imposed on me. And it made people afraid. And I think the people who reacted negatively to it were afraid of their own feelings that they have about those issues.
I've had a lot of really enlightening experiences lately in the past couple of years, and I feel like I want to share that with my fans, with people that listen to my music.
I don't know, everything just kind of converged at once. Finishing the movie Evita and discovering that I was pregnant and then having my daughter. I mean, I just had a whole new outlook on life, and I was searching for answers.
And I realized that all of those things have always been out there for me to learn from, but I guess I wasn't ready to learn until now. There are people that I've known for a long time. There are people that I come to know that are very spiritually evolved and have influenced me.
So I would say that my yoga teacher had a lot to do with inspiring me to read different books and to just follow a different path of thinking.
It's taught me how to be a lot more flexible, and I don't mean just physically.
A position you can just like bounce to? Oh no, could you go?
I can't do that.
You can't?
I mean, emotionally, I mean, just in terms of how I look at the world, how I look at other people, how I am with other people. Oh. Lean forward.
Oh, forward. Oh, I'm still. Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now put your hands in the prayer position.
Like
now
that.
breathe and relax. And I've learned to be not only easier on myself, but also on other people in terms of my expectations. Breathe.
You showed me.
Well, you have to do ujjayi breathing. You have to breathe. Ujjayi.
Ujjayi?
And it gives me a certain kind of centeredness and serenity that I don't think I had before. And then when you do, you say, well, that's so simple, and well, why didn't I just apply that to my life? If you can't squat or sit on the floor, then put one leg up.
Just like that?
Yeah. Because sitting like this all day long really cuts off the circulation in your body here. So do that. I mean, it gives me so much, and the more I talk about it, the more trivial it sounds. But
I do yoga and Pilates, and the room is full of hotties, so I'm checking out the bodies, and you know I'm satisfied. I'm digging on the isotope to smell the physics, shit is dope, and if all this can give me hope, you know I'm satisfied.
The idea to study the Kabbalah sort of came to me at the same time that I started studying yoga, and it just kind of all happened at one time.
There are no coincidences.
It's very profound, and some
I haven't converted to Judaism, if you were wondering. I'm not a Christian and I'm not a Jew. Although I did read a letter in the Jewish Journal imploring me to convert to Judaism.
I wanted more. This type of life is it for me?
My life.
American life.
Life is life. Life. Joy of life, really. This is life, so deal with it.
This type of modern life is it for me?
Well, I think my career, my life, sometimes it's hard to separate the two. I've been on an incredible journey.
I didn't have anyone around me when I was growing up really saying that this is what I should do.
I would say that my mother's death was a very traumatic experience.
My mother died, then my uncle died, and then my grandfather died. It seemed like everyone was dying all the time.
So of course it's affected me.
Instead of looking at it, thinking about my mother's death and feeling sorry for myself and thinking of myself as a victim and, oh, I've lost out on so many incredible experiences, I've tried to turn it around.
Freedom comes when you learn to let go.
If you have the certainty that everything that happens in your life is a blessing, then no matter what, that something good is going to come out of it. I turned a negative into a positive, and I think I've, made an incredible life for myself, which I may not have if I had a mother.
I wasn't thrilled with my home life.
I guess deep down inside, I've always felt like a bit of an outsider.
Didn't like the people I went to school with. And I really couldn't wait to leave. So that's probably what gave me my initial charge out into the world.
Basically, it was just a young girl from the middle of nowhere who had to struggle and survive.
In a way, I feel that I have let go of a lot of regrets.
I certainly have no regrets. I never said I'm perfect, and I never make mistakes. There's a difference between saying I made a mistake and I'm going to learn from that mistake and saying I regret something. I don't regret anything.
I've accepted things more. My past, I'm not so embarrassed about my past, you know what I mean?
But I think as I grow older and the more that I know, I think the less afraid of it I am. Oh, now I'm perfect. I'm trying to be a better person.
I think a lot of people go through a period where they don't want people to know where they're from. They don't want people to meet their parents. They don't want people to see the house they grew up in. It's just not as groovy as you wanted it to be.
I'm older and wiser.
Looking at my life.
You have to stop blaming other people for everything, or stop holding other people responsible. You have to be much more independent in your thinking. Well, I'm sure I haven't completely grown up yet.
I think if, as a person grows, that they're really true to what they feel inside, it doesn't matter how old you are.
Having really good friends in my life has helped me overcome a lot. Most people don't look at me and go, oh, God, she's insecure. Being able to call somebody up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm freaking out, can't sleep. Having somebody talk me, back down to, reality.
I'm gonna wake up, yes and no.
I just like to do really normal things. I like to hang out with my daughter, watch a movie. Making someone laugh, normal things. Eating junk food, hanging out with my friends, stupid stuff.
That's good.
Normal stuff. If happiness lies in your own hand.
I'm a happier person. I don't know if I'm easier to get along with. Everyone in this room shaking their head no.
And you make that realization and you realize that you can't rely on other people for it and other things. I've changed a lot. There was a time in my life when I thought that being famous was going to give me everything I needed.
I tried to be the best.
If you're not a evolved human being, it can end up becoming a substitute for real love. And I think probably at different times in my life it has been. It's not an easy thing to say. To me, that means that all the money in the world doesn't make you happy. Real true happiness comes from inside. Who better to say that fame and fortune and success and beauty doesn't bring you happiness than somebody who's been through all of those things? Nothing is what it seems. And then realizing that, well, it's really great, and I've had a lot of great experiences because of it. It does not take the place of true love. Wanting.
Can you have anyone you want?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Ciao, bella. Woo!
Ciao, amore.
Oh, hey, woo.
I think 14 or 15, I fell in love with a boy named Russell.
Do you have any plans for dinner?
He won my heart because he wasn't afraid of me.
Sometimes I just think that, they don't want to be challenged. Sometimes it's because they're just not used to it. My new boyfriend.
I guess when you're in love, when you finally decide that you want to make sacrifices for somebody else.
I look forward to making those sacrifices.
Or you want to give something up for somebody else.
If you really want someone and you're in love with them or whatever, and they push you away or they say no, you want them even more.
Freedom comes when you learn to let it go.
Who are you dating at the moment? Because there are two guys that you're linked to fairly regularly at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
it, put it this way, is he a basketball player? He's not a basketball player.
He's not a bullfighter either.
Right, so would we be right in thinking it's Carlos?
Who?
Well, you're seen jogging with this guy. It seems every...
He's my trainer.
Okay. Right, so he's not the guy that you're dating at the moment. We'll take that.
Next question.
Carlito. Is this your special someone? Yes, this is my special someone.
Yes, Latin men are my weakness. And
he's very shy.
I looked into your face. My heart was dancing all over the place.
Could you just clear up a little bit of confusion for us? We're not absolutely sure at the moment.
I'm not pregnant.
No. Oh, thank you for answering that one, but that wasn't going to be my question.
I want to be a baby.
You want a baby?
Yeah, got one.
I think it's extraordinary, something I've never done, so I look at it with wonder and amazement.
Donors? Sperm donors? Have you checked out the in vitro route?
No, I have a donor. It all sounds very scientific, but I think it's better to just say I have a boyfriend.
I never expected it to. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
I would just like to start off with saying that my baby is great. Thank you for asking.
Baby girl from Madonna, the child's name, Lourdes Maria Ciccone Leon.
Named her after a village in France. And it was a place that my mother always wanted to go to, but she never got to go.
I think it gave me strength to know that there was a life growing inside of me, and it gave me a certain sense of serenity too.
Now that I am grown.
First and foremost, having a baby is just a huge cataclysmic experience that will forever change me for the good.
Everything changed.
I have no idea who I would be or what I would be doing if my daughter hadn't been born.
And being responsible for another person's life, suddenly you have to sort of take a step back and say, okay, what am I all about?
Well, my daughter will always take first priority.
What do I have to say? What am I on this earth for, and what am I going to teach my daughter? And I'm sure that was like the biggest change for me.
I think I'll just learn as I go. What gives me true satisfaction? Well, looking at my daughter every day gives me an incredible satisfaction.
Every time I look at her, she's got a very mischievous sense of humor.
I think there are lots of people that are on this earth that you're supposed to be with, spend time with, that are going to teach you things, but I think you only have one soulmate.
How's married life, you guys?
Fabulous.
What's the best thing?
Is it fabulous?
Yeah, it's fabulous. What's the best thing about married life for you two?
I just think you complement each other. It's, yin and yang. I can call him my husband now, not my boyfriend. My evolution really started when I had children, but your priorities change and you start to look at life from a different perspective. The simplest truths in our lives are like right in front of our noses, and sometimes it takes a long time before you can actually recognize it. I'm really waking up to what's going on in the world around me and not being so like, my career, my career, my career. I think I probably knew it all along, all this success, all this beauty, all this glamour, but then what's really going on behind the pretty picture? A lot of unhappy people. So maybe we're all focusing a little bit too much on the wrong things.
And I just realized that nothing is what it seems.
I feel like I've had the Band-Aid ripped off, and I'm looking at everything that I valued, but also what everybody else values, and saying, no, wait a minute, something wrong here.
I tried to play the part, but somehow I forgot just what I did it for, and why I wanted more. This type of modern life, is it for me?
I think people are really searching for the deeper meaning of life.
Everybody's on this earth for a reason, and it really is
find out what that reason is.
I'm here to provoke people.
Know that if you're going to be a trailblazer or a pioneer or a revolutionary in any way, then you're going to go through periods where you're not very popular. So if you can accept that, then you can do it.
I will always take the road less traveled by. There's so much to figure out and so much to absorb.
I mean, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Because once you find that out, you have power, whether it's within yourself and in your soul or over thousands of people.
I'm very grateful for every lesson I've had along the way, whether it was a painful one or a joyful one. I wouldn't trade my experience for anyone else's or for anything else. I'm here to provoke people.
A lot of people say, oh, you know, you have penis envy or whatever, you just wish you had a dick, and my answer is, I do. It's in my brain.
Oh, now I'm perfect.
You want a baby?
Yeah, you got one?
I'm still the same demanding bitch.
Getting to know myself a lot better, so I'm getting better at expressing myself.
I don't regret anything.
'Cause you said